last weekend. So Graham Potter, he's got a bit of a tinker man reputation. Nobody's changed their team more than he has in recent weeks. It's almost back to the days of Claudio Ranieri. By contrast, Tottenham Hotspur named the same side which defeated West Ham United by 2-0 on this ground importantly last weekend. It means Richarlison keeps his place alongside Harry Kane and Dejan Kulusevski in that front three. And Son Heung-min, who scored as a sub, is perhaps now seen as an impact sub rather than a starter for Tottenham Hotspur. But he's a very, very good man to have up your sleeve. Fantastic stadium. We always say this. The two managers, Christian Stellini said very kind words about Graham Potter, shake hands and take their places. They're both wearing black padded jackets against a slightly chilly wind blowing across North London. But we're all set. Chelsea are in blue. Tottenham are in white shirts and navy shorts, as it should be. The referee is Stuart Atwell. And we're about to get underway. Don't forget, we've got the Carabao Cup final coming up for you. We'll be on air till 4 o'clock. And then Tom Rennie and Paul Parker will take over at Wembley. We're underway here. Just a bit of personal apologies from me. I've been suffering from a bit of a sore throat lately. Hopefully I can get through it all and you can understand what I'm saying. I'm going to be a bit croaky, unfortunately, but we'll have to live with that. Here's Ben Chilwell for Chelsea, who finds Joao Felix, who scored a rare goal for them in the recent draw with West Ham. He finds Reece James, who's wearing a far more conservative haircut than he normally does. He's one of 6 changes, as I mentioned. To deputise with the injured Hugo Lloris. Tottenham have Forster in goal. The back three is Christian Romero, Eric Dyer, Clement Lenglet. Across midfield, Emerson Royal, Oliver Skip, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Ben Davies. 300 appearances now for him for Spurs. Dejan Kulusevski, Harry Kane and Richarlison are up front. For Chelsea, Kepa is in goal. It's Reece James, Thiago Silva, Kalidou Koulibaly and Ben Chilwell across the back. Enzo Fernandez in midfield as Chelsea try and get through the Tottenham ranks in the box. There's an appeal there for penalty for the Chelsea fans. There's a player still down as Tottenham make rather a meal of clearing it. Here's Joao Felix. He wants to shoot and he's put the shot a long way wide. I'll continue the team. Ruben Loftus-Cheek alongside Enzo Fernandez, Hakim Ziyech, Joao Felix and Raheem Sterling with Kai Havertz up front. That was scruffy from Tottenham. It was also a scruffy finish from Felix.
Yeah, Emerson Royal went down and Spurs were looking to clear the ball. I don't know whether there's enough contact. There's certainly contact by Oliver Skip on Raheem Sterling.
For me, no.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think there's not quite enough contact to overturn the decision of no penalty.
I don't think there's enough contact for Raheem Sterling to go down as heavily as he did.
I think had
either.
the referee given it, I don't think they would have changed their mind, though.
No, probably not. I don't think it was a brush rather than a real foul. We've had a couple of minutes, so already we've had a talking point. Spurs have a goal kick after Joao Felix put the ball wide a moment ago. Here's Lenglet, the big defender who drives it forward. The Frenchman finds Harry Kane. Kane sweeps it away across towards Emerson Royal, who of course was a scorer here last weekend. Now it's Skip and it'll come through to Kulusevski. First chance potentially for Spurs. His cross is blocked and it's a scuffed cross by Royal. And Loftus-Cheek gets it up towards Joao Felix. Poor ball by him. He had Sterling running down the channel there. And he almost miskicked it and scuffed it. It should have come to Sterling. And had it done, he might have had a run on goal.
Well, if Joao Felix gets that pass right, you have to fancy Raheem Sterling in a foot race with Christian Romero.
Yes. Chelsea
there got back in numbers, but they've got 3 or 4 just waiting for the counter-attack. It's going to be really interesting to see how this develops.
Out comes Kepa quite a long way and clears the ball away. Raheem Sterling has got a good record of goal scoring against Tottenham. He scored against them at the old White Hart Lane. He scored against them at Wembley and he scored against them here in previous games.
Able to
debut. He was brilliant
Oh, he
up
was
until the
excellent
moment where
until
he
he got
completely
sent
lost
off.
his
Yeah,
head.
absolutely. At Fulham, he was absolutely excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fantastic player,
Yes.
without a doubt.
Yeah, he's been eye-catching. Mudryk is on the bench. I like him as well.
Yeah,
He's
I
very
think-
quick and direct.
I think obviously Mudryk missed a lot of football and so isn't probably really up to speed yet either.
And I mean, it won't make too many headlines, I don't think, unless he comes on and does something special. But Aubameyang's back on the bench, which is interesting as well.
Yeah, and
You got the feeling that he was out of favour.
I think he is out of favour,
Well,
but he's a
back.
natural centre forward.
Yeah.
He's ex-Arsenal, so
Yeah,
you know,
and he needs
everything
a
to
goal
play
that-
for in this game. Everything to play
That's
for
true.
in this game.
Yes, yeah. Watch this space as far as he's concerned. Here's Fernandez, the Argentinian World Cup winner, finding Hakim Ziyech, who helped Morocco get to the semi-finals historically. Now Fernandez again, Felix. There's a man out wide. It's Chilwell, former Leicester man who's been plagued by injuries. Here's Raheem Sterling looking to run at the Tottenham defence. Chelsea have made a pretty confident start, haven't they?
They have, yeah. They look good in possession. Actually, the shape they're playing, the four at the back is.
Here's
Just leave it now.
Loftus-Cheek, who tries to flick it back. It's picked up by Kai Havertz. Havertz finds Reece James.
Chelsea have got players in between lines. Joao Felix, Hakim Ziyech, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all between lines, causing Spurs problems at the moment.
Now it's Joao Felix again. We've had 5 minutes and Chelsea have had far more of the ball than Spurs, but both teams have been inside the opposition area already.
This is a typical Spurs first half
Yes.
this season.
Oh, they take a while to get going.
Yeah,
don't they, Tom?
absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a plague, really, hasn't it, for them in recent weeks and even months. Here's Koulibaly. Now it's Ben Chilwell. Good to see him back, and hopefully he can stay fit.
I think for England
Yeah,
it's
well, exactly, it's the
crucial.
World
But,
Cup,
you know,
isn't it?
both Reece James and Ben Chilwell, yeah.
I mean, arguably they could be the first
I
choice.
think they
Although I
probably
think
are.
Shaw's been fantastic.
Luke Shaw's been fantastic
Yeah,
this
he's been
season,
great.
but he might play centre back. Who
Yeah,
knows?
well, maybe, yeah. Here's Chilwell again. Left-hand side, drifts infield, finds Felix wearing 11. Portuguese player just pushing and probing, and manages to find Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And again through towards Joao Felix, who stretches to get on the end of that long ball and leaves a skinny stripe in the 6-yard box as he slithered through, and he couldn't quite get it under control and it went behind.
Yeah, run from deep from Joao Felix, beautifully picked out by Enzo Fernandez. And you just feel he should have got on the end of it, in behind Clement Longley, 6 yards out.
Yeah,
just kind of missed times that his attempt to get on the end of the ball.
Well, it's another warning for Tottenham. The crowd's a little bit quiet from the home side's perspective, and Chelsea have won it again. We've barely been out the Tottenham half the last couple of minutes. Here's Thiago Silva, 38, 39 this year, but still going strong. Here's Felix again, centre midfield, out wide to Hakim Ziyech, who seems to play better for Morocco than he does for Chelsea generally. But he's in from the start today, and here he is again on the ball. He is a skillful player. He's got a great left foot, and Chelsea are going to get a free kick here because as Felix played that ball across to Ziyech, he was caught by Dyer, and it'll be a free kick to Chelsea.
Well, Joao Felix has been very influential already, and I think Eric Dyer was just laying a little mark on him here that we need to get a little bit closer. He's a touch late on Joao Felix, not too much in the challenge, but
so free kick for Chelsea to try and exploit. We've had 7.5 minutes. It's too far out for an effort on goal, but Reece James, it looks more, maybe Ziyech with his left foot, who is going to deliver. There are half a dozen blue-shirted Chelsea players on the edge of the penalty area waiting for the delivery. Can they get a rare goal? It comes, Dyer flicks it away. There's a Tottenham player down holding his face.
There's nothing wrong with Christian Romero at all.
I mean, he's frustrating. He does do this, doesn't he?
There's nothing wrong with him at all here. Him and Thiago Silva were having a little bit of, excuse the pun, argy-bargy.
Yeah. Very good.
But
completely overreacted, but he definitely nudged his elbow.
Oh
into
yeah, but Romero will do the same to him.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
He plays on the edge, Christian Romero.
He does. Yeah, he's not always on the right side of the law, as we found out when he was sent off against Manchester City. Well, that was a game that Tottenham won. Here's Sterling, but there's an infringement there. Sterling with a couple of beads on 2 little strands of his hair on his forehead. We've had 9 minutes. It's Tottenham 0, Chelsea 0. You can join us on Twitter at TalkSport Live. Tell us where you're listening and what you want to say. Lee Hart is in a cold North Dakota, watching the sunrise on a new Leeds era. Hopefully, they won yesterday. Minus 26.
Wow, that is cold.
It's cold. It's snowing in California.
Yeah, I heard that in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Incredible. It's quite rare, I think, for to have snow in that part of the world. Wrap up warmly. It's cold here, but nothing like that. It's about 6 degrees. So if you were here, you'd probably be wearing a T-shirt. Almost 10 minutes. Chelsea have been the better team. Neither side have really managed an effort which would trouble either of the goalkeepers yet. Chelsea 70% of the possession, we're being told. And here's Chilwell driving forward.
I think that's the worry for Graham Potter, is that they have all this possession and they don't do enough with it.
Yes. Well, they haven't created a chance of any note, have they?
Was there a swinging elbow there from Kulusevski?
Not according to the referee. Harry Kane is on halfway for Spurs. Turns and tries to play a ball in towards Davis. That's a clever header. Here's Richarlison, who can't control the ball, and his fellow Brazilian Thiago Silva gets the better of him there in that challenge. That'll be an interesting duel between those two. Yeah, the Patriots, of course.
My money, Richarlison obviously still not scored a league goal for Tottenham yet.
Yeah.
Brought down by Hakim Ziyech there, but I think if it becomes an out-and-out battle between Thiago Silva and Richarlison, there's only one winner, and that's going to be the older man and with the calmer head.
Yes, I totally agree.
Fantastic player.
Well, actually, Richarlison did score 3 goals against Chelsea when he was an Everton player, the most notorious of which was at the end of the last season, where, of course, they beat Chelsea, and it was a huge result for them to stay up. But he threw a flare back into the crowd, didn't he? Remember, that was a daft thing to do. It's a daft thing to do, to throw a flare on in the first place. Anyway, here's Harry Kane driving forward for Spurs. Kulusevski to his right. Kane trying to go alone, but Thiago Silva's in the way. Chelsea will counter. This is Ziyech inside the Spurs area. He finds Kai Havertz, who drifts away towards the right-hand side, edge of the penalty area. Havertz with a little ball into Ziyech. Ziyech tries to cross. It's blocked by Højbjerg, and then slightly miscontrolled by Loftus-Cheek, but he'll get a second chance. And Chilwell has it for Chelsea.
It's end-to-end, isn't it?
It is.
End-to-end, certainly. Both teams looking to take advantage on the counter-attack. Tottenham getting 11 men behind the ball in their own half, making it difficult for Chelsea to play through. So those counter-attacking opportunities, I think Chelsea need to make the most of.
Here's Chilwell. They shared 4 goals at Stamford Bridge back in August at the start of the season, these two. Tottenham can't buy a win against Chelsea in recent seasons. Here's Reece James. Back to Fernandes, who looks quality, doesn't he?
He's a good player.
Ball winner and a ball user.
I think you should forget about the price that they've had to pay for him.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous amount of money. He's a very good young player, still only 22 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, loads more to come.
Yeah,
absolutely. Here he is on the ball on halfway. Just rolls it out to Reece James. James manoeuvres his way infield beyond Richarlison and finds Loftus-Cheek, who clips it up towards Chilwell. Chilwell finds Sterling. Sterling left-hand side, looking to get to the byline. Does that, chips it in. There's Ziyech, possibly the player they didn't want on the end of a high ball with a header.
He won the header, didn't he? There's just no one there. Put it back across the 6-yard box. Just no one there to put it in.
Here's Kulusevski. It's opening up a bit now. Harry Kane gets past Thiago Silva. Good ball. Ben Davis now for Tottenham Hotspur on his 300th appearance. Now it's Kane again. Edge of the box. Oh, clever nutmeg. Recovery was by Koulibaly. That was very, very clever from Kane.
Brilliant.
Didn't get the shot away in the end because the Chelsea defender covered, but it was
good counter-attack from Spurs. Ben Davis gets released on the left-hand side, decides to come back to Harry Kane eventually from Kulusevski. Then he runs into the box. Lovely fake to shoot, and then a little nutmeg on Reece James before Koulibaly comes across and deals with it. But he absolutely sent Thiago Silva and Reece James there.
He did. And Thiago Silva hurt himself. Actually, I think it might have been
him that made the clearance, yeah.
He was just behind Koulibaly. Unfortunately, Thiago Silva has injured himself in the process. I
think it looked like a contact injury, which would suggest I think he'll be all right to get up and get on with it.
Yeah, I hope so, because Chelsea won't want to lose him. I mean, we talk a lot about the fact that Chelsea can't score goals, but they don't concede many either, do they? And he's a big part of that.
He is a big part of that, absolutely. But Badia Shield not playing today has been an excellent signing, I think, for them.
I agree. But Chelsea, bizarrely, I mean, if you add up the goals in all their games cumulatively, there are fewer goals in Chelsea games than in any other club in the Premier League. We're just watching the incident a moment ago when the ball came in and Dyer cleared it, because Thiago Silva has still done. He has scored a couple of goals actually against Tottenham Hotspur. Thiago Silva, both games last season. Both Chelsea wins. This is worrying though, because this is taking a bit longer they're having a very close inspection of his knee, his left knee, and one of the physios is definitely talking to the bench as if to say, well, there's a very strong possibility that he may not be able to continue.
Yeah, just the way that they're just moving his leg from side to side. Looks like they're testing out his medial ligament, which is obviously the ligament on the inside of his knee.
They do have
Badia Shield,
you mentioned on the bench.
Badia Shield's on the bench. He's been playing recently. He's
certainly warming up. 15 minutes.
But Thiago Silva would be a big loss in this game.
Yeah, he's kind of the brains of it all, isn't he, really?
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of these. I mean, because at my ridiculously low level of football, I was always a slow player, but I considered myself to be, aware of what was. I like slow players who think. Nigel Clough, Teddy Sheringham, those players.
Absolutely.
I love those players because they haven't got the pace. They know they can't, so they've got to find other ways of. And I mean, Kane to a degree, he's not particularly quick, is he?
Absolutely, Kane's very much in one of those sort of players.
I'm actually not in that bracket. I just thought about doing stuff. Anyway, it's a corner. And it's the first corner of the game. Kulusevski's going to take it for Tottenham. Kane stretches. It comes to Oliver Skipp. That's a clever ball back in and an awkward one for Kepa. Christian Romero was up there and Kepa Arrizabalaga, I thought, has punched it behind. But yes, there's a whistle blown. Did Romero touch the ball?
It's either an offside against Romero or a foul on Kepa as he was backing in to try and get the header.
Well, Thiago Silva's back on the pitch, but looking at him, I wouldn't say he looks 100% fit.
He's just given that signal.
He's talked to Reece James, and he sort of said to him, well, I think he seems to be saying, let's give it a couple of minutes. Potter doesn't look convinced, and I think Thiago's going to come off.
I watched the game earlier in the season. I can't remember who Chelsea were playing, where he went down with an injury in the first 10 minutes and kept on going like that. And he managed to stay on for the whole game, but he doesn't look comfortable.
No, he's wincing. He's on his haunches. Oh, no. Now we've got another hold-up because the referee's technical kit doesn't seem to be working. This drives me mad. It's funny. We had a Watford game that I went to as a supporter, and the same thing happened. The referee's equipment broke, and the fans were singing, "You've got a flag and a whistle." This is really the most important thing. Anyway, Thiago... Well, he seems reluctant to come off, but I think he is going to have to.
They're getting Wesley Fofana ready. I mean, what an embarrassment of riches they've got on the bench. Badia Shield and Fofana.
Yeah.
So Fofana's taking his stuff off as though he's going to get ready below us.
Fofana's only made 7 appearances with his injury problems. He did come on as a sub against Southampton in his return. Here's Havertz. Now then, João Felix thinks about a shot, does shoot straight at Fraser Forster. It's the first effort on target of the game, fired off the left foot of Chelsea's Portuguese, number 11. And Fraser Forster didn't have to do very much to save it.
No, he didn't. It all just opened up for him, didn't it? No one went to the ball, took a shot on with his left foot. Anything either side of Fraser Forster would have been interesting, but it literally was straight down his throat.
Fraser Forster starting the 4th consecutive game for Tottenham Hotspur.
He's gone down.
Yeah, he's not going to continue.
But Spurs don't have to kick the ball out here.
No, they don't. I agree.
Well, they have.
No, you don't have to at all. It's not a head injury, and you only have to do it when the referee tells you to.
I think the reason you kick the ball out for someone like Thiago Silva is because you respect him as a fellow professional. You know, and what he's done in the game, and he's not going down. He's not going down.
No,
cheating. He's not looking for anything else. He just can't carry on with the game.
I can read some tweets actually while we're waiting to see what's going on. Brent Castleman listening in southern Oklahoma. Come on, you Spurs. Kumasi. Oh gosh, apologies. Kumasibwoy J Flex. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. I'm watching the match live here in Spintex Road, Accra, Ghana, but can't stop listening to you guys. In fact, I am whenever Chelsea lose a game, but today I'm supporting them. I'm a gunner and hate Spurs more than Chelsea. It's a difficult choice, but
It is,
you're
absolutely.
right. I mean, no, but traditionally it would be Tottenham again.
Yeah. Oh,
I
without
think
doubt.
Spurs dislike Tottenham more than Arsenal. Chelsea.
Chelsea dislike Tottenham more than Arsenal.
More than Arsenal.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we shouldn't be too negative. But keep the tweets coming. Tim is a Tottenham fan from southeast Pennsylvania, preparing for surgery tomorrow. Hope Tottenham can finally beat Chelsea. Best wishes for that. Hope it all goes well, Tim, for you. We're back in play, and we have Tottenham trying to get forward with Kulishevsky, who finds Højbjerg, who switches the play to this near side. Ben Davies with a good downward header, and it's picked up by Kane, who shoots. It's not his best effort, and the ball goes wide of the post, just short of 20 minutes played.
That's almost a perfect situation, getting Hakim Ziyech having to defend almost as a right wing back. Ball gets poor header back into Harry Kane's path, touch onto his left foot, but dragged the shot horribly wide.
Wesley Fofana has come on, the former Leicester City player, whose £70 million transfer has not been able to play many games lately due to injury, but he's fit again now. Let's hope that continues to be the case. Here's Sterling for Chelsea. Tottenham have got back into the game a little bit, haven't they, in the last 5 or 10 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. They defend in such numbers, it's very difficult to break Tottenham down, and their strength is on the counter-attack.
Here's Havertz. I have sympathy for him because obviously he's the man who nominally plays as the striker, but he's not an out-and-out striker, and the lack of goals is sometimes slightly laid at his door, isn't it? But actually he's quite a good player, and he does other things. It's not really
he's
what he
not
is.
an out-and-out striker,
no,
is he?
He's not a Harry Kane, is he?
He's he like, certainly at Leverkusen, he started off as a number 10 in behind the striker, did play a fair bit in his last season at Leverkusen, actually as an out-and-out striker, was probably his best goal-scoring season without a doubt, but not natural playing there.
No. Eric Dyer's ball forward. Richarlison can't make any contact, and now Chelsea have lost the ball in midfield, but a stumble by Højbjerg gives them possession back, but they're halted by an offside flag against Joao Felix. Chris from Orlando, I know you're a goalkeeping fan, Chris. Let's now celebrate Kepa working his way back into a starting role, a tribute to the mental toughness and never giving up. I think that's fair, isn't it? I mean, he had all kinds of problems with that ridiculous situation in the Carabao Cup final.
Absolutely, that was unfortunate for him. But he's had to bide his time, and be patient. And sometimes it's hard when you're bought for that amount of money to live up to the hype really around the transfer.
Especially as a keeper as well.
Find that. But as a keeper, every mistake you make is so magnified.
Yeah, Edouard Mendy still injured for Chelsea. So it is Kepa for a run. Here's Koulibaly flicking it forward. We're midway through the first half. It's still 0-0. Don't forget we've got the Carabao Cup final from Wembley coming up for you at the conclusion of this game, and we'll have all the atmosphere from Wembley for you. Manchester United against Newcastle. United haven't won a trophy since 2017. Now then, Chelsea have lost the ball on the edge of the box, but it's an infringement. Newcastle haven't won a domestic trophy since 1955. I've just seen some amazing footage. Trafalgar Square in London.
Last night, I saw the footage.
Completely black and white. It's absolutely incredible. Thousands and thousands of Geordies. They've completely taken over the centre of London. They'll be on their way up to Wembley now, of course, but it's nice for them. I mean, they are a club with incredible support, and they're haven't been rewarded. Here's Chilwell coming forward. Good recovery though by Emerson Royale.
Really good
matched
recovery.
It for pace and got it out of play for a corner. I think that'll be Chelsea's first.
Yeah, that's what we used to see Ben Chilwell doing, aren't we? Galloping down that left-hand side, but good powers of recovery from Emerson Royale, who's probably been Tottenham's best player over the last couple of games.
Yeah, he has, and scored an important goal in the victory last weekend. Help them beat Tottenham by 2-0. Here's the corner then. Chelsea looking to exploit the set piece. It's going to be Raheem Sterling with a left-footed outswinger from the far side. Headed away by Richarlison, and then a stooping header by Skip. Back in it comes for Chelsea. That's not a bad ball, but it's cleared as far as Loftus-Cheek. Here's Sterling, blocked by Richarlison. It's not quite gone out of play. Sterling shrugging Richarlison off. You can see Richarlison's gone back at him, but Chelsea still have the ball. It's a low drive from the edge of the penalty area by Ziyech, and it was blocked in the box by Tottenham. Koulibaly then nods it all the way back to Kepa, wearing an all-orange goalkeeping outfit today to match Koulibaly's boots. Here's Enzo Fernandez, and now it's Ben Chilwell. We've had almost 25 minutes. Still goalless. Not many chances, really. I mean, both teams have had momentum, but they haven't really had opportunities. Just one effort on target. Felix effort saved by Forster and saved comfortably at that. Richarlison hasn't really been able to get into the game. It's been frustrating for him.
He looks frustrated. His body language tells us he's frustrated.
Yeah.
He finds it very difficult to hide how he's feeling, doesn't he, Richarlison?
Yeah. Here's Sterling. He's got men to his left. This is Chilwell. Felix on the far touchline as Tottenham sing their famous Spurs Come Marching In song, trying to lift their team, who've still, I would say, been second best. But Chelsea, as you said, they've had a lot of possession, but really it hasn't amounted to a huge amount of opportunities for them. Here's Ziyech, who might try and create one here, but he's thwarted by Ben Davies. And Richarlison's drawn a foul.
Yeah, what Chelsea's problem is they don't have many players who want to run in behind. And they can't stretch Tottenham, and they don't offer a threat in behind. So it's easy for Tottenham just to bank up, knowing that if they keep those gaps between the midfield and the defence nice and small, that Chelsea are going to find it so difficult to play through them. The best opportunity was, I know João Felix didn't get on the end of it, but was that ball over the top and that running behind, but they don't have enough of that, Chelsea.
No, I agree. Here's Longley finding Ollie Skip. It's Harry Kane. Good ball. Emerson Royal and a bit of space here. Centre midfield. Out wide it goes to Kulusevski. And now Højbjerg, who's, by his standards, having a prolific season in front of goal. He's got 5 goals in a career where he's not normally been noted as a provider of goals, but it's good for Tottenham that he does now. Here's Richarlison. 1-2, lovely ball by Richarlison. And here is Højbjerg. He's hit the post. Oh, my goodness me. We just talked about the fact that he's finding the net more frequently recently, and he was unlucky not to then. A low drive off his right foot from 20 yards. It went flying past Kepa. It hit the foot of his left-hand post and to safety.
There's a poor challenge from Enzo Fernandez on Richarlison. Ball falls for Højbjerg. Takes the shot. I think the referee might have brought this back for the free kick. So actually a really good block from Fofana, which takes it onto the post.
Yeah, he
did brilliantly to throw his body in front of that. But I think the referee's brought this back for the free kick. But Tottenham just had a shot a goal and hit the post.
Yeah.
How can you give them 2 opportunities?
Yeah, it does seem a bit strange because he's allowed play to go on. I mean, he wouldn't have disallowed it if they scored, would he? So, I agree with you. It's a foul, but the advantage has been played. Yeah, it's not rugby, is it? Where you bring it back.
Shouldn't it? Should be a corner, not a free. I think it might be a corner.
I think he has given a corner.
Yeah, rightly so.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a little bit, as you say, that would have given Tottenham a free here, wouldn't it? As I say, you can't complain. He played a good advantage.
No,
they nearly took advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
28 minutes gone. Tottenham 0, Chelsea 0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. In comes the corner. It's repelled by Chelsea. Kane will keep it alive, but he's overhit his pass back. And now we're in the centre circle with Emerson Royal. But again, he's done well. Took a while for him to settle at Tottenham. He's another one. Yeah, we talked about one of our listeners talking about Kepa, but Emerson Royal's similar, isn't he? He's not always been the most popular. He's having a good season.
He's
having
a good few games, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Richarlison might get booked here.
Well, Richarlison's charging around like a headless chicken at times, isn't he?
Reece James just ran away from him. Richarlison just dragged him to the floor. I think he might escape the yellow card purely because he's had a few fouls on him that haven't been given as yellow cards, but that was pretty cynical.
Yeah. too clever from the Brazilian, who can be a bit of a hothead. Great player, of course. Scored probably the best goal of the World Cup, didn't he, Richarlison?
Oh, it's a fantastic
Seems
volley,
like a
wasn't
long
it?
time
Yeah.
ago now, doesn't it? But
He's not produced that form, though, for
No,
Spurs.
no, he hasn't. As I say, he's not scored a Premier League goal for them yet. Here's Raheem Sterling for Chelsea. Perhaps hasn't been quite as prolific for them as they might have hoped. Again, it's slow from Chelsea, and they've been pushed all the way back to halfway.
This is what Tottenham make it so difficult to play. They get so many numbers back so quickly.
Rhys James has somehow kept the ball in, but Ben Davies has swivelled away. It's cannon back to Longley, who sweeps it back to Fraser Forster, all in yellow, the former Newcastle player. I wonder if he'll be hot-footing it up to Wembley to cheer on his former teammates at Wembley against Manchester United later.
Very much doubt it.
No, probably not. No. Isn't it that far?
Oh, no.
If you're driving, it's okay.
Well, it could be bad round the North Circular.
Yeah, well, if the game's underway, you'll be all right, because he won't be... It might be empty.
The North Circular's bad when there aren't games on, John.
I know all about the North Circular. I live about a mile from it. When it works, it's great. It's, if you don't know, it's a sort of semicircular road that goes from east to west across North London. Here's Richarlison, halfway line, gets beaten to it by James. He looks short of confidence, Richarlison, doesn't he? Slip there from Enzo Fernandez, who was just caught by Højbjerg, his fellow number 5. Ball's back in play. Chelsea have had 4 attempts on goal to 2. And as we said, that effort straight at Forster from Felix is the only effort on target in the opening half hour. Here's Kulusevski for Tottenham, who both themselves and their crowd have been fairly muted so far, but they've won a corner here. Emerson Royal into the box, and Kalidou Koulibaly has jabbed it behind for a corner, the Senegalese centre-half. So an opportunity for Spurs. Kulusevski's going to try and curl this in with his left foot. Up comes Dyer, up comes Romero. It's taken short. Emerson Royal into the box. Richarlison climbs, no contact. Falls for Højbjerg. It's gone all the way back to Fraser Forster in the continuing absence of Hugo Lloris. The Tottenham have got a few out. Bissouma, Bentancur, Sessegnon as well. Bentancur's is a bad one. Here's Kane. It's a clever scoop over the top. It's also an acrobatic clearance by Fofana. Fofana's gone down now.
Yeah, brilliant defending.
He's lost one centre-half already, and Fofana...
Is he holding the back of his hamstring? I think he stretched, didn't he? The ball was scooped over the top by Harry Kane. Christian Romero's running towards it. He stretched to get the ball, Wesley Fofana, and he's holding the top of his hamstring.
Thigh, yeah. He might be all right, but
hopefully he's okay. That's worrying, because that's the injury he's had.
Have you had similar?
I was very fortunate.
You know what it's like when you do.
I was never quick enough to pull my hamstring off.
Yeah, that's right. It's a sprinter's injury, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no danger of you suffering from that.
I was one of those players you were talking about who read it.
Slow but clever. Yeah. Well, you're in my fan club then. Well, I'm in your fan club. Now then, another break. The Tottenham fans are frustrated because they've already had quite a lengthy break with Thiago, and they're wondering why the referee is not telling Kepa to get the ball back into play. What's he doing, the referee? Well, he's strolling around.
Just carried on play. He didn't give a free kick, did he? So,
I see. The ball is technically still in play.
Yeah.
We're just
Chelsea's mindset.
It's
just
weird.
delay.
Why? Though, I mean,
Yeah,
they need
it's
a goal.
0-0.
They need 3 points. They need a boost. It's very peculiar.
Oh, ref.
What's happened?
He's done nothing. Harry Kane hasn't even touched Kepa.
He's gone in on Kepa, but
he hasn't.
He hasn't. Has he not?
He's literally brushed past him.
This is just so irritating. I mean, this game was actually quite a good game for half an hour.
Yeah, it's
the
very
last 3
niggly
minutes
now,
was
isn't it?
nothing but...
There's nothing in this. Look, from Harry Kane. But nothing. Look.
Not a thing.
No.
Absolutely.
The referee's run over as though he's absolutely gone through Kepa.
At the very worst, he's brushed his shoulder and Kepa's gone down holding his face.
Yeah.
This is the problem. I mean, and I totally respect the concussion protocols. It's a very important thing. But unfortunately, some players now have taken it upon themselves to say, if I go down holding my head, the game will have to stop.
The game stops.
And it's cheating.
And and his defenders being clever when there's attacks happening. Absolutely.
Yeah. Fofana looks
Players
okay.
will always find a way round any of these, and the best way to use it to their advantage.
Well, it's the old adage, isn't it? Rules are there to be broken, isn't it? Anyway, that's a poor ball out of defence by Chelsea. And then Emerson Royale was caught there, but nothing's been given. You can hear the boost from the Tottenham fans. Here's Reece James for Chelsea. Down the line to Ziyech. Ziyech inside Longley, but Longley's won it. Here's Richarlison. Richarlison to Højbjerg. In it comes to Kane. Bit of space there. Emerson Royale's made a good run forward. He's been brushed off the ball by Sterling.
Brilliant from Sterling.
Very, very good by the England player to backtrack. Here's Kai Havertz. Koulibaly with the ball forward up towards Raheem Sterling, who flicks it down the line towards Havertz. It's belted away by Romero. He's having a go at Havertz now. I don't like Romero. I mean, I think he's a good player.
I think Romero doesn't need to tackle Havertz like this.
No.
He doesn't need to.
And there was a collision, and then there was a little bit of a square up. Nothing.
Look at him now. Honestly,
he's gone.
He is the most embarrassing footballer out there. He's such a good player.
Yeah,
he just frustrates the life out of you.
He's holding his face. I mean, and now he's getting up. It's absurd.
Honestly.
The trouble is, you can't do anything about it.
He's an embarrassment of a footballer at times.
I totally agree with you. But you can't do anything about it because the referee has to stop it. If a player
I agree.
I mean, yes,
he's run into his chest.
He's
run into his chest.
It's farcical, isn't it?
Goes down holding his face. Look,
dreadful.
It's embarrassing.
And it's ruining the game
as well. And the thing is, he's the toughest one in a tackle.
He can look after himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just slowed the game down. The game's gone.
I'd be embarrassed as a centre back. I'd be embarrassed to go down if something like that had happened.
I agree. Here he is on the ball. Surprised he's not being booed by the Chelsea fans. Actually, is on the ball. Here's Royale. Back to fellow South American Romero, and now it's Eric Dyer. But what we had for half an hour was
the game's gone now, isn't it?
Flat, hasn't it? Now, I mean, you can't help the injuries. I mean, the Thiago and the Fofana one, although hopefully Fofana's okay.
What we've actually got at the moment is two pretty poor sides.
At the moment, yeah. No, I agree. You're absolutely right. The other thing I would say is when Thiago went off, Fofana's not played much. He's had injuries. He's on the bench for a reason, but he's had to come on for a lengthy spell. Why didn't he bring on Badiashile instead? I'm not from a sort of protecting injuries.
Badiashile has played on the left-hand side most of the time that he's played this season, and obviously Thiago Silva's playing on the right. That's true. Fofana's more comfortable on the right-hand side, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But then Koulibaly plays on the left all the time, and he's right-footed. But
make of that what you will. Here is Koulibaly, and he's found Fofana, who seems to be moving okay. And I'm pleased for him because, as I say,
I don't want to see him injured again.
Terrific player. No, we want to see him playing.
I'm not even sure he's a terrific player. I've not seen enough of him to
know that he was good at Leicester.
He's okay.
Yeah.
He's had half a good season.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Here's Sterling, 37 minutes played, 0-0. Sterling to the byline.
Brilliant.
Well, that's a lovely ball in towards Felix, who controls cleverly.
Goal kick.
And then it unfortunately comes off his heel and goes over the goal line for a goal kick. That was clever by Felix because he didn't look as if he had any right to get that.
No,
he did.
No. Sterling is a danger down that side of the pitch. A couple of times he's gone past Royale or forced Royale into last-ditch tackles. Good challenge from Romero in the box that time. That's what he's good at, defending.
Yeah. Here is Romero. And it's back inside the 18-yard box to Eric Dyer. Forward it comes for Tottenham. Harry Kane drops deep and swings it away. Such a good passer of the ball, Kane, isn't he?
He's a fantastic all-round footballer.
He could be a number 10. Even if he scored half the goals he did, he'd still be a fantastic player because of his assists and his general accuracy and his motivation.
I think when Spurs talking at Spurs fans probably thought they'd never see a player like Teddy Sheringham again.
Yeah.
A centre forward who could drop off into that role. I think Harry Kane's actually better at it than Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah, I would agree.
And obviously it's better more goals. Yeah, absolutely. More goals.
7 goals against today's opponents, Chelsea, in his career, including in the 2-2 draw. And of course now Tottenham Hotspur's all-time leading scorer. We've got another problem with a potential injury here. Emerson Royale has got to his feet a little bit gingerly and is just walking away. It's a throw in to Chelsea on the edge of the, or level with the edge of the penalty area on the far side. Here's Fernandez. Away it goes by Koulibaly up towards halfway. Dyer should be under this. It just eludes him, and then Romero collects the pass from Longley, but he's going backwards at the moment. But it's a good ball infield. Resisted the temptation to go back to the keeper.
He's good on the ball.
Yeah.
He picks the right. He's an excellent player. He just frustrates the life out of me.
Like
yeah.
He's the sort of player that away fans hate.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Here's Højbjerg.
But he loves it. He thrives off of that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he doesn't care. Here's Ben Davis finding Højbjerg. We're 6 minutes away from half-time, although there'll probably be a reasonable chunk of stoppage time. I think at least 3, maybe 4, for that injury to Thiago Silva, which culminated in him having to leave the field of play. But the game's gone totally flat, hasn't it? Since that injury, really.
But this has pretty much been Spurs' first halves, mostly throughout the season, particularly here. Really flat in the first half, and then a completely different team in the second half. So we'll be hoping of more of the same.
Tottenham are now up to 350 minutes since they last scored at home against Chelsea. It's a lot of football. Here's Kane, who the thing you've got with him is, of course, there's always a goal somewhere. Here's Richarlison, and it's an off day for him. He tries to cut in field and curl it inside the post. He's curled it miles wide, and he looks a player who just isn't right, and you just wonder maybe whether Son Heung-min might be a better bet even at half-time.
Son Heung-min will come
possibly
on at some
sooner rather than later.
Around an hour last week.
Yes.
I think it might be similar this week.
Yeah, took him 4 minutes to score, didn't he, since he came on.
And it's that combination and the telepathy that Kane and Son have between them. They play better when they're both on the pitch.
Totally agree. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Goalless. Carabao Cup final to follow. Again, Kepa's being booed. And, I mean, we had a situation last week. I did the extraordinary game between Aston Villa and Arsenal. And Emi Martinez, I should say, was wasting an extraordinary amount of time. And he got booked. And it was even almost that added on time that Arsenal got the goal. He didn't help his team at all.
Exactly.
They were adding it on, and he got booked.
The whole directive this season has been to add on this extra time, and to really make sure that they get the right amount of the game played.
That's right. Yeah. Then he scores an own goal.
Well,
then he comes. He was unfortunate. And then he comes up for the penalty and for the corner.
I think that's that's an absolute travesty that gets given as an own goal. That should be Jorginho's goal. What a strike!
The problem is it doesn't actually cross the line. Does it? That's the problem. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, in spirit, it's Jorginho's goal. Martinez is another one alongside Romero from that team, who hasn't exactly made an awful lot of friends recently, has with some of his behaviour. But that's gone out of play, and Chelsea they still look.
Yeah,
they don't look like a team with a goal in them, do they? At the moment, they've not created much.
They don't create. That they defend well. They dominate the ball, but it's just no goals in the team. You watch them go and score a couple.
Well, no, funny enough, James, our young producer, who's a Chelsea fan, said this could end 3-3, and you said, well, it can't, because Chelsea won't get 3. They've only got 6 since November.
We're coming up to half-time, and one shot on target between two teams.
And not a particularly good one at that.
Spurs,
a shot that any keeper would save.
Spurs have been drab in the first half all season.
Yeah. It's been a poor, as you say, that neither of these sides. I mean, Tottenham, I alluded to it in my preview. I mean, you sort of look at them and you think, well, why are they fourth? They haven't played particularly. They haven't had a great season, have they? I mean, they'll be happy enough to get a fourth spot, I would think. But really, they don't look like a team who've, created very much momentum. Anyway, here's Sterling for Chelsea, who desperately needs something. Sterling! Good save by Forster, hacked away by Davis. Sterling off his right foot. That was a more demanding save from Fraser Forster this time. He pushed it away, and Ben Davis was able to knock it away to safety.
Yeah, this is the problem for Spurs when Sterling comes inside and Chilwell goes outside him. Emerson Royale's got 2 players against him. Can't get close to Sterling. Comes inside, bends the shot around the challenge of Romero. But pretty comfortable save for
Yeah.
Forster. Probably should have held it.
He should have done
Gets
it.
a little bit fortunate that Ben Davis is alive to the danger and clears it.
Well, he's fortunate that it went through his hands, but his chest was behind, and he blocked it in the end with his chest. It wasn't particularly convincing goalkeeping, but it keeps it at 0-0 as we approach the final minute of the half. Romero clips it away towards Dyer. Now it's Clement Lenglet near side, hugging the touchline, pushing it forwards. Not a very good ball, and Chelsea might profit here. Ziyech finds Felix. Felix confronted by Dyer. Tries to find a way past them, and it comes off the defender, and it's a corner to Chelsea in the 45th minute of the first half, and an opportunity for them to get a rare goal. Lost their last two games, Chelsea, of course, against Southampton domestically and Dortmund in Europe. Ben Chilwell's come across to take the corner. 1 win in 10 in all competitions is hopelessly adrift of what they should be doing. Not won in 9 away games either. Their worst run away since 2001. But can they put a smile on their supporters' faces late in the half here with this corner? In it comes from Chilwell. It's deep. It's a good header by Royal, and then it's nodded away by Dyer. Royal again. It might drop for Koulibaly. Koulibaly gets a touch, and it's come to Sterling, who then stumbles, and it goes out of play. And 3 minutes will be added on.
Just kind of sums up the first half. It's been pretty bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it's not been particularly entertaining. But Tottenham are a second-half team, aren't they? And Chelsea will know that.
No, exactly.
Chelsea
And Spurs will be happy at coming in at half-time without conceding, because they know how much they generally improve in the second half.
But on the other hand, that's not a particularly laudable thing, is it?
No.
You should be playing well for 90, not
absolutely,
45.
but they don't.
No, it's bizarre, though, isn't it? It's almost, people always do it as if it's some sort of quality, or they always recover well. Anyway, here's Lenglet. He's laid it off to Skip, who finds Kane. Kane with a good diagonal ball for Kulusevski. Kulusevski into the box. It's cleared by Fofana. And Chelsea have it with Kai Havertz, who, rather like Richarlison for Spurs, hasn't really got into the game a great deal, has he, Havertz?
Richarlison always. He's just silly, isn't he?
Richarlison has made a foul, and he's bumped Havertz. Ziyech
needs to be careful here, because I think he was getting a yellow card anyway. And he's just thrown a hand at Emerson Royal.
And he's gone down.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
The referee's got quite a lot to sort out here. It was initially a foul on Ziyech by Richarlison. Richarlison then bumped Ziyech. Ziyech reacted.
The referee's come over to his
he's asking the assistant referee.
Is that Darren Carr?
Darren Can. Yeah.
Darren Can.
Yeah, one of the best, probably the best in the business.
The most experienced, absolutely.
He's run the line at a World Cup final, Darren Can. Yeah, and he will. He's got probably the best pair of eyes that you could have. And they're in conversation, although of course they've got VAR as well. Who can, if it's a potential red card, I don't think it is. He's got a yellow card in his hand.
I think it's going to be 2 yellows.
Yeah, I don't think it warranted a red, to be honest. I'm not sure it was dangerous or violent. Or
Emerson Royal.
We haven't seen a replay of it yet.
Havertz
has been booked. That is incidentally the first booking of the game. I don't think it's going to end
for someone, isn't he?
Is it going to be?
It's got to be
Richarlison and Ziyech.
Has to be Richarlison and Ziyech, surely.
I'm sure what Havertz was booked for was
Emerson Royal. He's going to get booked. Wow.
Where is he? He's having a talking to. And he was the one who went down holding he's been yellow carded.
And Richarlison and Ziyech haven't yet.
Bizarre, isn't it? He seems to have booked them for what happened afterwards.
This is crazy.
Well, unless Kane is talking. Oh, hang on. I think Ziyech is going to be.
Ziyech knows. He's looking over. Unless he's going to be.
One thing I would say, Chris.
He's put his cards away.
Referee, can you get on with it, please? It's taking far too long, this, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to book them, book them. He's been messing around. We're looking at it again. Ziyech barges Richarlison over. Richarlison reacts.
He pushes and raises his hand.
And then
towards Emerson Royal.
Emerson Royal pushes Ziyech.
That's a punch in the face almost.
And then look at them. This is absurd.
But how has Ziyech not got a card at all?
I don't know. It's utterly bewildering. I'm not a massive fan of Stuart Atwell necessarily as a referee.
He's lost control.
Yeah, he has. And he seems to have booked people
Royal
from less.
Go down, though?
Well, that's ridiculous. But
Oh.
I don't think Royale deserves a yellow
No.
card.
No.
But Ziyech does.
They look. Is VAR talking to him here?
Oh, hang on.
I think VAR's talking to him.
Ziyech could be in trouble here
He
because
could.
he's clearly put his hand
I
into the
think
face of
Ziyech-
Emerson Royale.
I think Ziyech.
Oh, hang on, here we go.
I think Ziyech is only a yellow because it actually comes off of his shoulder.
Well,
and
the
goes
fact
into
that
his face.
VAR is involved means there must be a thought of a red card. I think he's going to go here. He is. Ziyech is sent off right at the end of the first half. Well, Chelsea, who are desperately short of points, goals, confidence, are now down to 10 men. They're desperately short of players now because Ziyech will play no further part. I don't think you can argue that much with it. He's put his hand into an opponent's face. Stuart Atwell has consulted Darren Can on the near side. He's consulted VAR. Red card. Because now then, what's he doing? He's looking at something else now.
He's watching it.
I've got no idea what's going on. He's shown him a red card, and now he's looking at
I think he's got to give the red card for that.
Well, that's a red card. He's right in front. He's literally gone across the referee.
It's 100%.
And he's put his hands into his face.
It's 100% a red card.
I wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, but why? What's he looking at now? I don't understand what.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Someone help us spare us from VAR. I don't understand what's going on here. The protocol. He's already shown a red card to a player. The player's walked off the pitch, and then Stuart Atwell's run across to look at the screen.
The thing is, it doesn't matter whether it hurt Emerson Royale or not.
No, it's the intent.
It's the intent.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree. He can have no argument.
Is he going to change his mind again now?
I don't know. I do. Well, is that half? Oh, he's half time now.
Ziyech doesn't know.
No, I don't know.
Ziyech doesn't know.
We haven't got. Honestly,
hold on.
Oh,
he's going to take it back now.
Oh, he's rescinded
it.
What on earth
This is
going
an
on?
embarrassment.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's now a yellow card for
How on earth
Ziyech.
can VAR say? I mean, also, if you're gonna do that, why did he show the red card before going to look at it?
It's incredible.
Go and look at it and then show the yellow. It's
incredible
wasted about
how
5
wrong
minutes.
they've got this.
Honestly, I find VAR gets worse, doesn't it, as it goes on?
This
is utterly confusing.
That it's only a yellow card, but the fact that he gave him a red card, then went over to look at it, and then changed his mind.
He's done it all backwards.
Yeah.
You know, what he should have done, surely, is said, hello, VAR, what do you think? They'll say, well, he's pushed him in the face. We both thought it was a sending off.
Go and have a look.
So the VAR has clearly said to the referee, we think it's a sending off. Out comes the red card, and you think that's the end of it. Then the referee, after showing the card, goes over to the screen and rescinds it. I mean, there's no communication there. It's all over the place.
Absolutely
it's ridiculous.
all over the place. Yep. But it's pretty much in keeping with the first half, really, isn't it? All over the place.
And I think, and you think, as a commentator and an ex-player, that we've arrived at the wrong decision.
I do, because
after all that, we've got it wrong, I think.
He's thrown his... whether he hurts Emerson Royale or not, the intent is there.
Yes. Here's Sterling. We're in the 52nd minute of the first half. I mean, it's been a farcical end, but utterly bizarre. Not quite sure what's going on. I mean...
The referee has lost control, is what's going on.
Yeah. But what I was going to say to you, I mean, you would know as a player, if you had a rush of blood to your head, you put your hand in another player's face, right in front of a referee,
you'd know to get a red card. You'd be hoping that you don't get one, but you'd expect to get one.
And you couldn't really complain.
No.
When you look back at it, you couldn't complain.
No.
So ultimately, I think we've wasted 4 minutes of toing and froing to ultimately come to a decision which I think was a wrong decision.
Yeah, but better for the game as a neutral. Better for the game that
it's 11 against 11. I agree.
Absolutely, but
I mean, it has at least given us a talking point in what's been a fairly poor game.
Dour, hasn't it? It's been dour. It's been dull.
But we're still playing here.
It's been niggly.
Yeah,
it
hasn't been great.
It's been a typical.
Can we get a bit of quality at the end? Kulishevsky, that's a good ball. Here's Ben Davies for Tottenham Hotspur. He tried to find Harry Kane. It was a dreadful ball. And Koulibaly scraped it away. And finally, the whistle is blown. You can hear the booing from the crowd. I think they're booing the referee.
I think so.
They're not booing the fact that it's a back. Harry Kane's gone over to Stuart Atwell straight away and is basically saying, what on earth is going on? Why is Ziyech still on the pitch?
What is going on?
We've no idea. It's been a really odd... Well, first of all, it's been a poor game.
Howard Webb,
and the referee and the VARs have made it even more ridiculous.
Howard Webb, as head of the referees, has really got his work cut out.
Well, my opinion...
The standard is awful.
Anyway. So was the game, largely. And at half-time, it's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Chelsea 0 on Premier League Live. goalless between Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I suppose you could argue that that's fairly predictable, given that Chelsea can't score for love nor money and Tottenham never score in the first half. But frankly, it's been a poor game, and there is one thing that everybody queuing for a cup of tea or a beer or a pie is talking about at the moment, and they're probably asking themselves what on earth went on there. And frankly, we still don't really know. In a nutshell, there was a flare-up. Ziyech put his hand into the face of Emerson Royale. Royale overreacted, but we saw it 3 or 4 times. The referee can't have been more than a foot away from it, and it looked, as you said, Chris, a clear penalty because he's put his face deliberately into an opponent, his hand into an opponent's face. The referee then spoke to Darren Can, the assistant, and VAR. He produced a red card, and then, for reasons we don't understand, went across to his monitor, rescinded the red, and turned yellow. We're looking at it again on our monitor. What can he possibly have seen on the monitor that made him change his mind?
Unless that he wasn't getting the message from VAR. Was it Paul Tierney?
Yeah.
VAR.
Yeah.
And they didn't tell him to give a red card. They were saying it's 2 yellows, and then he's given a red card, and then they've said, no, you need to go and have a look at this. But whatever it was, the communication is an absolute shambles.
It's a shambles.
Yeah.
I mean, that might well be true, but all that tells you is the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing.
No, absolutely not. And what it tells you is these Premier League referees don't make consistent decisions. They aren't on the same page with their decision-making at all.
And the other problem is that in a situation like that, it is not an offside. It is not a did it cross the line. It is an opinion as to whether that is a sending off offence. The VAR is just another opinion, isn't it? I mean, it is. Chris and I both support clubs that are outside the Premier League. And when I go to, I like the fact we don't have VAR because, you might get a goal chalked off that, you shouldn't have had, or, the team will score from an offside position, but it evens itself out and the game flows. The crowd haven't got a clue what's going on.
The thing with VAR is the amount of time that it takes to come to a decision. It is so frustrating the majority of the time. Do they actually get it right all the time? They still don't get it right, even with it. And it's taken away the joy of scoring a goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Celebrating a goal, it's taken that away at times. Not all the time, but at times.
As I said earlier, what has happened effectively is we've had a referee, an assistant referee, 2 VARs and a monitor. And through a process of about 3 minutes, I think we both think they came to the wrong decision. We think it should have been a red card. Chelsea are obviously delighted it wasn't, and Ziyech had walked off. Yeah, he had to come back on. This is utterly bizarre. Not much else to talk about, really.
No, absolutely
a couple of shots on target, but they were both straightforward saves for Fraser Foster, and Chelsea's dismal efforts in front of goal continue.
Chelsea have had majority of possession, half chances, for 2 shots from the edge of the area. Don't look like they're going to create a real goal-scoring opportunity. And Spurs have been as poor as they have been every single first half this season almost.
Yeah,
and
it's...
the one thing is Spurs will get better in the second half, and that's a worry for Chelsea.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, we've got the Carabao Cup coming up. That's kick-off in 2 hours' time at Wembley Stadium. Tom Rennie and Paul Parker will be there to bring you all the atmosphere, the build-up, and the game itself, of course. It's Manchester United against Newcastle United, looking for a first trophy since 2017. Newcastle for a first trophy since 1969, a first domestic trophy since 1955. Would you believe it's even before I was born? And anyway, let's hear from Eddie Howe. Will he be the man to finally end that extraordinary barren spell for Newcastle United? Howe says that with the Newcastle squad he's got, he's not surprised that they've had a good cup run at last.
I think we hoped. You always hope before a season that you can have a successful season, and I think we wanted to take all the cup competitions seriously that we're involved in. Now we've had success in this one, we didn't in the FA Cup, but I believe that the squad was good enough to mount a challenge to potentially win a competition. We've got this far, we've got to the final, which is a great step really, and I think we'd love to go one step further and actually claim the silverware.
Let's talk about that final. We'll go into depth because we've got a half an hour at the end of the programme to talk about. We'll be hearing from various players from either side. But it's a good final, isn't it? I mean, Newcastle, they've got the fantastic fans, as we mentioned. It's been a long time since they had any kind of success. And Manchester United need a trophy as well. So, I mean, there's an awful lot on this one, isn't there?
There is. it's a huge game for both of these clubs. You feel that Newcastle, obviously, new owners coming in, that they're on an upward trajectory. Is this trophy maybe a little bit early for them? It probably is in terms of where they're at, but what an opportunity to put a marker down that this club is moving forward. And then you look at Manchester United, Eric Ten Hag, I think, should be up for manager of the season. I think he's turned things around magnificently. Absolutely. And I honestly think Manchester United will win just because they're in brilliant form. And for me, Ten Hag is an excellent manager.
Very, very good. I mean, yes, you're right. Obviously, Newcastle have struggled of late. United and Rashford in particular. I mean, if anyone's going to win it, you'd think it might be him.
Yeah, but they've got quality. You know, they've brought in winners, Varane, Casemiro, players who know how to win trophies, and those two have been crucial this season. Varane's really stepped up after a tough first season. Yeah. And Casemiro has been absolutely outstanding.
And plays despite his base.
Absolutely.
And that's huge for United, isn't it?
He's arguably the best player in the world at the moment on form.
And Guy Mahrez is back for Newcastle as well.
So is huge for them.
So they've both got players that have been suspended but happily are eligible.
Absolutely.
So he makes really some tick in midfield, doesn't he?
Well worth listening to, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere at Wembley Stadium. As I mentioned, the kickoff is at 4:30. Once this game has ended, we'll bring you some views and news of the teams and everything in the big build-up to the big one at Wembley. Here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it's been pretty disappointing, to be honest. Chelsea haven't done enough to score, nor have Tottenham. Maybe we'll say Son Heung-min come on in the second half. Chelsea, fortunately, though, will be able to field a full contingent because Hakim Ziyech was red carded and then yellow carded in that order, which you don't see very often. And he will play in the second half, which is coming up very shortly on Premier League Live.
Previously
Coverage of Tottenham Hotspur against Chelsea from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm your host, John Anderson. Alongside me is the former Tottenham defender, Chris Perry. You're listening to Premier League Live. And you join us with the teams coming out of the tunnel for the second half. Stuart Atwell has the ball under his arm and is walking towards the centre circle. He's just put his hand in his pocket to check that his red cards. Yeah. Oh no, he's not going to show it to Ziyech again, is he? Say sorry, mate, I got it wrong.
You wonder whether he's got the message at half time that maybe he should have done something differently, and he come out with a preconceived idea that he shouldn't be on the pitch, and one little foul and that's it.
The only thing you can say for certain is that it's a complete mess. That's the one thing you can say.
Certainly a mess. There's a lot more descriptive words than that.
Some of them ending up. Anyway, Tottenham are going to kick us off in the second half wearing white and navy blue, of course. Chelsea all in royal blue. And Stuart Atwell, who was the central figure, which is never what you want from a referee in the first half, is going to get us underway in just a moment. It's goalless, of course. And we talked about the mess. I mean, the game was pretty messy, wasn't it, as well?
Niggly, dull.
Yes, not good.
Two teams lacking confidence.
Here's Richarlison trying to find Kulusevski. Might be an early chance here for Tottenham. It's Royal. Oh, he hit it straight at Kepa. Scored last week, of course, against West Ham. And now it's Oliver Skip. And he's fired it in off the underside of the bar. 20 seconds into the second half. Ollie Skip off his right foot with a rising drive. It brushed the crossbar and rippled into the net. It's his first ever goal for Tottenham, and they lead by a goal to nil.
Well, Spurs are always a completely different team in the second half. Just a long ball forward. Richarlison puts it across. Kulusevski rolls in the path of Emerson Royal initially. It's a tame shot. Kepa didn't hold it. Probably should have. Cleared away. Comes out to Oliver Skip, who beats João Felix to it. Sits up beautifully. He hits it just as it bounces up nicely for him with his right foot. Beautiful strike from Oliver Skip, but I think Kepa should save this. Does it take a deflection off of Koulibaly? Maybe.
Not really, no.
Maybe.
Rush, but not much.
Not a lot. Kepa should save this, but let's take nothing away from Oliver Skip. It doesn't hit Koulibaly.
No,
he should save it.
At all.
He gets a really strong hand to that and can't keep it out.
It's Ollie Skip's 67th game for Tottenham Hotspur, and he's finally got his goal, and a good one too. I agree with you, the keeper should have had a stronger hand there. Oliver Skip doesn't mind.
No, absolutely not.
Well, I mean, what is going on with Tottenham? We did say that they're always better in the second. 20 seconds.
And it was the same last week. It was about 2 minutes last week.
Yeah, I mean, incredible. But what it also means is more problems for Chelsea.
Massive problems for Chelsea. They've got to do something they're not very good at, and that's score.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the moment, that's the first time Tottenham have scored against Chelsea in something like 352 minutes of football at home. They've lost their last three against Chelsea in the Premier League without scoring, but they're on the brink potentially here of ending a run that goes back to 2018 since they last beat Chelsea. And Chelsea could be on the brink of their worst away run since 2001. That's a long time ago.
You do start wondering just how long can Graham Potter survive if the results don't change.
No, I agree, because it's not the fact that the results are poor, but when you think they outspent everybody else in Europe combined out of the big clubs.
Yeah, but they have, but they haven't got that team on the pitch yet, have they?
No, they haven't. And also, they haven't bought a striker.
No,
I was thinking someone the other day. If Chelsea had, for example, Alexander Mitrovic or even Ollie Watkins,
someone like that,
or Callum Wilson, they wouldn't be superstar-studded billion-pound players, but they'd get goals for them, surely.
Then you'd say the same about Aubameyang, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know.
He's in.
Now here comes Spurs again. Ben Davies trying to, or rather Chelsea. It's Ben Davies burrowing his way forward. Here's Emerson Royal, whose shot was blocked by Kepa, which in the run-up to the goal. Now it's Harry Kane trying to flick it through. It's blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Spurs voices can be heard now in North London. Harry Kane is dispossessed by Joao Felix. Chelsea are making a bit of a dog's dinner of trying to get the ball away, aren't they? But they finally have. And now it's Sterling. And he's driving forward. He's got a man out wide. He can't find him. It was Ziyech. It was well intercepted by Longley. And here comes Emerson Royale. Poor ball. Intercepted by Ben Chilwell. To be honest, the first 4 minutes of the second half have been better than the, what is it, 53 minutes of the first half. Here's Havertz for Chelsea. Now Ziyech. Thought he was sent off, but still on the pitch. Slips it through. Decent looking ball. And that'll be a foul, I think, given on Reece James, who was blocked there as he tried to get the ball away. So it's a free kick to Tottenham. To Chelsea.
Big problems, Graham Potter. Big problems.
He's looking across the pitch with his arms folded, breathing out, twitching. Aubameyang, we've got a close-up of him on our monitor.
They've got talent,
they've got a good, well, the bench is good, isn't it? I mean,
Mudryk.
Yeah. I mean, they've got Conor Gallagher is on the bench.
Madueke is a really good, talented young player.
Yeah. They're not sure, are they? He's going to have to do something, though. Here's Kane. That's a clever ball. And Tottenham have it far side. It's flicked to this near post. Emerson Royale controls it. He got Kulusevski in front of him. He's ignored him. 5 minutes gone in a action-packed start to the second period. Here's Longley. Decent cross with Richarlison. Can't get there. Kulusevski wanted to shoot, but Chilwell made sure he didn't. But unlike the first half, where it was Chelsea who dominated for the opening 5 minutes, in this half it's been Tottenham, and Chelsea have given it away. Ruben Loftus-Cheek put it straight out of play.
Terribly, Chelsea, haven't they?
Yep, they certainly have. Goodness me. Well, the game needed a goal, didn't it? Now then,
desperately,
Harry Kane's down now, and he's not a sort of player who would fake an injury, I don't think.
No, I don't think
He's rubbing his neck as if he's twisted it somehow.
He's obviously,
I think as he went for the header, maybe.
With Koulibaly,
Clash of heads. Very, very...
fair challenge, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I was sort of searching for the word, but it wouldn't come. Undeliberate.
Yeah.
I think that's the word I was looking for. I'm not sure that is a word, but anyway. Here's Fernandes. Quite a few Chelsea players have had quiet games. Loftus-Cheek and Fernandes in midfield. And there's really not much has come through there, has it?
I watched a lot of Enzo Fernandez at Benfica earlier this season.
Yeah.
And he's very much a continuity player. He just likes to get the ball and move it. He's not
desperately creative.
He's not brilliantly creative. No, absolutely.
Here's Felix, who is, and finds Chilwell. That's a good ball by Chilwell. He's found Ziyech. Ziyech shoots. It's not a very good shot. Just looped it well wide with his left foot. But I suppose credit to him to go for goal, because Chelsea they've had so few goal-scoring attempts, really.
Yeah, well, he's very capable of Ziyech coming inside on that left foot and putting this in the top corner. Fraser Forster would have been worried initially when he was on the ball, but well wide of the target on this occasion.
At 7 minutes of the second half, 1-0 Spurs, and that would be...
Spurs take the shackles off. It's almost like that they've got shackles around them. They're told they're not allowed to go over the halfway line until the second half.
It is utterly bizarre. Here's Skip, who's got his goal for them. They'll need another for security for sure, though. Here's Emerson Royale, who got one last week. Jinking forward, tries the 1-2 with Skip. It hits Koulibaly. Handball shout the Tottenham fans. Play on, says Stuart Atwell. Here's Højbjerg.
It hit Koulibaly on the hand, but his hand was by his side.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Goodness me. Breathless start to the second half. Here's Kulusevski looking to get beyond Ben Chilwell. Cuts in on his left foot and finds Skip, and they all shout shoot, the Tottenham fans. He's about 30 yards from goal. Now it's Højbjerg. Arrows it across to Emerson Royale. Emerson Royale into the box. Arriving is Richarlison. Good header. Brilliant. Away by Reece James, who's hurt himself.
Needs to stop it.
And that is a head injury. Richarlison and James have clearly clashed heads. They're both down. And on this occasion, we can have no complaints whatsoever about the game being halted. We can read out a couple of tweets. This is quite a good one from Kofi Tawia Kansar. Man City can't seem to score against Spurs at the Tottenham Stadium, and Spurs can't seem to score against Chelsea at home. Funny, isn't it? Well, that's changed. That was, to be fair, at half-time. And they have finally got a game against Chelsea. And Fuego William Saliba Says it's so funny that these referees do all the same. I'm excited because it gives Chelsea a chance, as I don't want Spurs to get anything from this game. Happy times to be a Gooner. Listening from Tamale in Ghana. And Chris King, this is a great one. Best of luck to my brother-in-law and nephew watching Newcastle at Wembley. Amazing fan support with a picture of them there in Trafalgar Square.
Well,
What's going on, Chris?
The referee, there was a throw-in to Spurs when play was stopped for the head injury. It was a throw-in to Spurs. And the referee is now going to give the ball back to Kepa.
Really? What?
Honestly, they don't help themselves sometimes.
They don't. No, I agree. Yeah, you stopped the game. As you say, the ball was dead.
Yeah.
You can't... Stuart Atwell, quite a few seasons ago, refereed a game at Vicarage Road. I hate to keep mentioning Watford, but I do remember it well, against Reading. He gave a goal when the ball actually hadn't gone in. It went past
wide, wasn't it?
It went wide. It landed in the back net. He actually gave the goal, and it was an equaliser in a 2-2 draw. I mean, on that occasion, you probably would have wanted VAR. But, I mean, you know, I've never... Well, maybe I'm a little prejudiced against him, but he never impresses me as a referee. I've quite liked David Coote this season. I think he's looked quite decent at the games I've seen.
There's not many good referees out there, unfortunately.
Here's Emerson Royale clearing. Skip playing a nice ball over the top towards Kulishevsky, but good block by Koulibaly. Bounces back off Emerson Royale for a throw to Chelsea. He's thrown it straight out. Koulibaly hasn't gone back into play.
Yeah.
It was a throw out rather than a throw in.
Centre-backs taking throw-ins. They're not particularly used to it.
10 minutes gone in the second half. We have a breakthrough. It was an early one, 20 seconds on the clock when Oliver Skip scored his first ever Tottenham goal. He won't forget that in a hurry, will he? Particularly if Tottenham Hotspur go on and win the game, which if they do would put them 4 points ahead of Newcastle and 4 points behind Manchester United. But here come Chelsea with Sterling, who in the first half looked the one player who might make something happen for them. Here's Chilwell, pings it away across towards Reece James. Out wide is Hakim Ziyech. And now it's Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And Fernandes. They're never any quick build-ups from Chelsea. It's all kind of very laboured, isn't it?
And that's a credit to Spurs. They get so many men behind the ball, and it's so difficult to play against. You have to try and suck Spurs onto you and hit them on the counter-attack.
Antonio Conte will be worried about coming back, because if Christian Stellini wins this, it'll be 4 out of 4. Now then, here's Sterling. Has he kept it in? I'm not sure he has. No, he hasn't. It's going to be a goal kick. He tried to hook it back from the byline, and it didn't quite come off for him.
It's a good moment from him again. He's been bright, actually, Raheem Sterling.
Yep, he's been the one thing that Graham Potter may feel. Aubameyang is still sitting behind Potter. No signs of him warming up.
Or Dennis Zakaria.
He's a midfielder, though, isn't he? He's probably more of a
Loftus-Cheek, maybe.
Yeah.
I think
he's not a particularly offensive player, is he, Zakaria?
He's got really good energy, Zakaria. Yes. Really good energy, and that's kind of what they need.
Maybe, yeah.
Here's raise the tempo of the game a bit for Chelsea.
Fernandes back to Koulibaly, wearing number 26 inside the centre circle. Leaves it for Reece James. James gets it forward to Joao Felix. Now it's Ben Chilwell on this near side for Chelsea, who would stay 10th, 4 points behind Brentford, which is, with the greatest respect to Brentford and Fulham, you would not expect Chelsea to be the third most successful team in West London.
Hakim Ziyech thought he was fouled there, went to ground.
Skip good ball forward. Here's Emerson Royale. He seems to like this right side of the forward, doesn't he? It gives him room to roam, and he's done well today again. Here's Kulishevsky to Emerson Royale, who scored last week, and he was instrumental in the build-up to that goal with his shot that was saved, and then it was cleared, and Skip hit it well. Here's Højbjerg. Richarlison, poor ball. I can't see Richarlison staying on too much longer.
No.
It's just not been his game, has it? That's a foul by Ben Davies.
That's a yellow card as well.
A yellow card on his 300th appearance for Tottenham Hotspur. I think we should pay tribute to Ben Davies. I mean, he's not the most eye-catching or headline-making player, but 300 appearances for Spurs.
Very steady, isn't he?
And for Wales as well.
Yeah, very reliable.
Yeah, good servant.
Yeah, can play in, obviously, 3 different positions, can play left side centre back, left back, and left wing back, and so very versatile as well.
Yeah, and he seems low maintenance, doesn't he? I imagine he's a dream for the man. I think he probably does what he's told and doesn't complain. You know, and as you say, he gets shunted around, but he's done well at centre half. He's doing well at left wing.
Yeah, he does a job wherever you put him on the pitch. He will do your job.
Yeah, he's sort of like the James Milner of Tottenham.
Similar. Yeah.
Anyway, here's Reece James. Chelsea need something desperately. We're up to nearly an hour, and they trail by a 0-0. It's Højbjerg, and it's flicked off, and the game's gone a bit flat again after that sort of dynamic start. Double substitution. Zakaria and Mount are coming on for Chelsea, but not at the moment because the ball is in play with Harry Kane, but he loses it fairly swiftly, and Koulibaly manages to find Chilwell. It's up towards Havertz. Good header. Here's Joao Felix. Felix at pace. Shoots and blocked by Dyer, but at least there was a bit of electric pace there from Chelsea, which we haven't seen very much. It was a quick dart through the middle.
It's very much one pace Chelsea, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Here's Chilwell. Out it comes to Sterling, who, again, this has been so much a symptom of the game. That's not a bad ball by Fernandes, aiming for Felix, but Fraser Forster is about a foot taller than Joao Felix.
He was always favourite for that one, Fraser Forster. I think Fraser, he may never have played again if he'd have lost that one.
Yeah, it would have been embarrassing, but he's another one, good servant to various clubs. He did well with Celtic.
Brilliant at Southampton as well.
Southampton, as I say, he's approaching 500 career appearances. Here's Kane for Tottenham. That's a good ball. Kepa's come out, has to control it. It's a good header under pressure from Kulusevski to find Chilwell, who sprints away. Kulusevski fouls in. It's a free kick to Chelsea.
It's a great starting position from Kepa there. Really high. Sensed the danger. The ball over the top, came out and dealt with it with a really well-controlled header.
61 minutes played, and
Chilwell might get a yellow card, but
he tucked his shirt, didn't he? I'm not sure he did.
I'm not sure the referee saw it.
Now we are going to get the substitutions, as you say. It's Mason Mount,
Loftus-Cheek,
Dennis Zakaria, who are coming on. Loftus-Cheek and Ziyech. So Ziyech, who thought he was sent off in the first half, is now being taken off in the second half. Those are the 2 subs. Mason Mount, who, as we know, is a very creative player. He's never scored in 10 games against Tottenham Hotspur, Mason Mount. And Aubameyang is sitting there looking nonplussed, I think would be the right word to describe him. He looks as if he's thinking, well, what am I here for?
But you know, when you're sitting on the bench and if you're desperate to go on, do you just keep getting up and warming up and brushing past the manager, make sure he sees you going out and warming up? There's none of that, is there?
You'd know as a player. Are you told to warm up, or do you just go and warm up?
Generally,
I would have thought you
can just
told.
you can just go and warm up, but generally you wait until you're told. But why not? Why not
his
just run past him and go,
great.
Come on, get me on, Gaffer,
he just looks fed up, doesn't he? Which is not a good. It's not a good look, is it? Anyway, here's Fernandes. Chelsea still only trailing by a single goal. That's a really poor. He's not had a good game, has he? It's a poor ball. He tried to chip it down the middle, but there's no one there. It took a bounce and went behind. Graham Potter still looks disgruntled, but he's clapping his hands together. We've had 17 minutes of the second half, and Chelsea really haven't looked like getting back in this game.
You've got to feel a little bit for Enzo Fernandez. He's come from Benfica, who are absolutely flying in the Portuguese league, top of the league, beating everyone that they step in front of them, to a team at Chelsea that are hopelessly lacking confidence. Every single player out there, apart from maybe Thiago Silva at the start of this game, is playing below par.
Yeah, absolutely. Chelsea now haven't scored for a very long time since that Joao Felix goal against West Ham. It was about 315 minutes ago of football. They've only scored 3 goals in their last 8 away games, Chelsea. And in all competitions, they've failed to score in 8 of their last 14 games. That's well over half.
It's incredible.
It is, absolutely. Well, they're going to have to score in the second leg in Europe. Chelsea, of course, because they trailed Dortmund by a 0-0. That won't be an easy game.
Dortmund are on fire at the moment as well. They've won every game since the turn of since their league started, since the turn of the year.
And they're a good side. And I mean, if Chelsea lose that, the season's done. That's it. It's finished. It's over. Here's Emerson Royale. And they won't want to be, with the greatest respect, they won't want to be in the Europa Conference League next season, will they, Chelsea? But you can't see them getting into the Champions League. If they lose this game again, you know, they're down in 10th. They're miles off the pace.
There's too many good teams between them.
14 points behind Tottenham if they lose this.
Yeah, too many good teams between them and the Champions League spots.
That's a good ball if Davis can reach it, and he can. And he cuts it back. He did as much as he could there, Davis, but it didn't reach a teammate, and Chelsea will clear, and Sterling will find Enzo Fernandez. That's a better ball from him, and it's shoveled on by Mount to Felix. Felix with a ball in field. It finds Raheem Sterling. Sterling towards Mount, very well read by Christian Romero. That's what we like about him.
He's an excellent defender.
He read it well,
really is. For me, he's probably the best defender in the league. Yeah, 1v1 defender. Thiago Silva reads the game better than anyone in the league, but absolute 1v1 defender. If I was going to put my life on anyone defending me, for me, 1v1, I'd probably pick him. It's just the other things that he does that annoy you.
He wasn't ever present in a World Cup winning team for nothing, was he?
Not at all.
And after that extraordinary result against Saudi Arabia, they picked up rather well, and he was a huge part of it. Obviously, with Argentina, there's only really going to be one person who's going to get most of the headlines, but there were some great performances from plenty of others, weren't they? Rodrigo de Paul and various others.
Does Enzo Fernandez look a much better player playing with Lionel Messi ahead of him than he
certainly does. Here at Tottenham, it's Harry Kane on the overlap inside the box. Hangs it up, couldn't quite manage to find Davis. Kepa slithers in to prevent Ben Davis conceding a corner, and then pushes the ball up towards Raheem Sterling. Now it's Zakaria, one of the substitutes, finding Fernandez. Diagonal ball cross halfway to Ben Chilwell, just inside the Tottenham half. Now it's Kai Havertz. And now Chilwell again, and we're back to Chelsea just knocking it around without any vim or vigour, really.
No. Spurs are back in shape defensively.
Yeah, they've done that really well.
Yeah, they do. They're the best at that in the league, getting back into shape quickly, making it difficult for teams.
Here's Raheem Sterling looking to run at the defence. Good tackle by Richarlison, though. And he's rolled it through to Højbjerg. He's under a bit of pressure here. Tottenham have got the ball away. It's gone out of play, 10 yards short of the halfway line. It's going to be a throw into Chelsea taken by Reece James. 66 minutes played, and Chelsea desperately need a goal from somewhere. Here's Ben Chilwell, left-hand side for Chelsea as they try and attack. Now it's João Felix. Scored their last goal, but it was a while ago. Fernandez, Felix, that's nice interplay between them. It's back with João Felix. That's clever. Here's Havertz. Good goalkeeping, Fraser Foster.
Foster was excellent.
Very, very brave at the feet of Kai Havertz there, who must for a moment have thought he'd wriggled free, but the big goalkeeper read it really well, was very quick. He was onside as well, Havertz, so that save had to be made.
Yeah, it was good play from Chelsea. Little 1-2 on the edge of the box, little flick round the corner, and Havertz was almost in, but Fraser Forster was quick off his line.
Well, a little spell here for Chelsea. We're midway through the second half. Kulishevsky has pushed Chilwell. It's a free kick. He's taking it quickly to Fernandez. And square it goes to Reece James. But the ramifications of another defeat, and another defeat without a goal for Chelsea, will be mounting up, won't they? Here's Chilwell finding Mount. Now it's Fernandez, who again plays a poor ball. It's meat and drink for his international teammate Romero, who clears. This is Wesley Fofana for Chelsea. He doesn't want to go back to his keeper, and he's found Zakaria instead, the Swiss international. It comes to keeper Arrizabalaga. And now it's Chilwell.
I think
look at this kick, and he's gone out of play.
You look at this Chelsea team, and he's got Reece James and Ben Chilwell playing, but they're both playing as natural fullbacks.
Yes.
Where both of them are better as wingbacks.
Yeah.
You know, can he find a way with what he's got on that bench to get those two being effective going forward and cause Spurs some problems?
They look chronically short of confidence, don't
they
they,
are.
Chelsea? I mean,
Are.
but they're displaying it. You know what I mean? You can tell just by looking at it.
Absolutely.
Header away by Romero. It's dropped for Felix. That's a nice ball lifted over towards Denis Zakaria, who's almost dispossessed, but it was a foul given against him. So Chelsea are going to have a free kick on the edge of the centre circle in their own half. Denis Zakaria, born in Switzerland to a Sudanese father and a Congolese mother, but a Swiss international. Scored on his debut in the Champions League against Zagreb, but has missed a chunk of the season with a thigh injury. Good to see him back. Here's Mason Mount finding Joao Felix. Mount gets it back. This is Chilwell. Chilwell near side, just lifts it across towards Fernandes. Fernandes is looking across to his right-hand side. That's a useful ball. It's picked out Reece James. James looking to take on Ben Davies. Finds Raheem Sterling edge of the box. Now it's Fernandes. Scoops it over towards Raheem Sterling. It's a tame header. And Forster just lets it bounce up into his grasp.
It's such a difficult header for Raheem Sterling. The ball was scooped into the air by Enzo Fernandez, and there's no pace on the ball at all. He has to generate it all himself.
Here's Royale. Harry Kane wants it played early, but Emerson Royale still has it. He dithered rather, and Chelsea were able to get it away. Solid challenge by Oliver Skipp, and Chelsea win the ball. Here's Kai Havertz, but Emerson Royale's had a really good game, got back there, and Havertz is another who looks hopelessly out of sorts, doesn't he? Here's Kane. That's a lovely ball. Over to Ben Davies. He's in acres of space on this left-hand side. Gets the ball in towards Richarlison, but Fofana is there to scoop it away on the full. We're into the last 20 minutes.
He's defended well, Wesley Fofana, since coming on.
Yeah, no
ball into the box, and Ben Davies was a good one, looking for the run of Richarlison, but his position was good and his clearance was really good as well.
Yeah, it was the right ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well read by the defender. What's happening now? What's the referee doing now?
Someone said he's changing his top, is he?
Goodness gracious me. The referee has gone off the pitch.
He is not helping himself today.
I don't know his heel. I mean,
he's changing his top, isn't he?
No, it's the communication device. This is another thing that frustrates fans. You know, surely you can referee a game without this. I went to a game earlier this season. We had about a 20-minute delay. This was a midweek game.
Yeah.
One of the guys next to me had to go because his kids got school the next day because of a referee's malfunctioning piece of kit. Dear, oh dear. Now we have a break. And, a chance to remind you that we're off to Wembley in about an hour. Stay with us. Tom Rennie and Paul Parker are the lucky men who'll be watching the Carabao Cup final and bringing all the drama and atmosphere to you from the home of English football. 4:30 kickoff, Manchester United against Newcastle. London has been completely awash with black and white clad fans, the whole of the West End. You'd think you were in big market in Newcastle, wouldn't you, if you walked into Trafalgar Square? We're watching a replay of the goal, and you're wincing at the goalkeeper.
He's got to save it.
Yeah.
Kepa has got to save it. I don't know what he looks at Koulibaly. Koulibaly doesn't get a touch. He needs to save that. He shouldn't be looking at anyone else but himself there.
Daniel Levy is taking an opportunity to scroll through his phone.
Yeah.
As Tottenham
He's just
look as if they're going to...
How much more money he can take off his next signing.
Todd Bowley's here as well.
And he's looking at how many more people he can sign.
He makes Daniel Levy look skint, doesn't he?
He does, absolutely.
As one of my friends said, I wouldn't mind being a fiver behind him. But the referee's back on now. Oh, joy. Well done. You can see the fans are fed up with all this nonsense. I mean, this technology is supposed to help the game. And it's just, holding everything up. But the way we're going, we'll blow the whistle here and we'll be straight to Wembley
to start the game. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, we had, 7-8 minutes at the end of the first half. This is going to be at least 5, if not more. There'll be more substitutions as well. And we're up to 73 now, but nothing's happened since 70. Here's Richarlison. Tackled by Mount, swept away on the full by James, but Tottenham have it again with Harry Kane. Kane shrugs off Reece James and can't find the ball to Kulusevski. Emerson Royale tracking back and managing to find Romero, who just lost the ball for a second
that's
there,
not
but
a good
recovered.
challenge, that.
Now then, what's
That's
happened
not
here?
a good challenge. Mason Mount's going to get a yellow card for arguing with Stuart Atwell
What
about
was
the
Stuart
fact that
Atwell
challenge.
do about Romero?
Well,
Mount has been booked.
I think it's a yellow. I think he gets the ball, but his follow through goes straight through Havertz.
Yeah, it's a yellow, maybe. It's not malicious.
No.
I think he did it because he lost the ball and he was so
He
desperate
did.
to get it back.
He did, absolutely.
The trouble is, he's the sort of player that you're inclined to think badly of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, that wasn't too bad. I'm not sure if he has been. Mount definitely has been booked. And is now having a conversation with Pierre-Emile Kjøjbjerg about something or other. It's another break in play. Back in play now with Romero again. Rolls it forward. That's a lovely little flick by Kane, who's by Kulusevski, I should say, and he's got the ball now. Right-hand side, Emerson Royale's gone down the flank. Kulusevski tries to find Richarlison. Kane with a brilliant ball first time across towards Davis. This will be a terrific goal if Tottenham can get someone on the end of the cross, but they can't. Chelsea clear. Kulusevski near side, veering towards the touchline and tussling. He didn't quite get through them all. Fernandes did well. That's a poor touch by Felix, and he's lost it. And here's Emerson Royale. And now Richarlison, and it's just too high.
Yeah, Chelsea need to clear their lines. They're really struggling to do so. Fernandes plays the ball into Chilwell, then Joao Felix gets caught on the edge of his box. Little ball inside from Royale. Richarlison just outside the 18-yard box, takes the shot on, but well over the crossbar.
Too short of 50 Premier League goals, Richarlison, for Watford, Everton, and not yet Tottenham Hotspur.
No, and that's surprising.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, he scored plenty in the World Cup, didn't he? And last season with Everton, but hasn't quite worked for him. No sign of Son Heung-min yet, though.
No, I think it's so
Here's
tight
Mount.
this game.
He finds Sterling, who's half tackled. Sterling through to Havertz, and again, Havertz is not able to get on that. As you say, Romero just put his body between the ball and the keeper and made sure that they shall not pass.
Yeah, really good defending. Spurs at the moment getting cut open a little bit by Chelsea's movement since Mason Mount's gone on. There's players between lines. There's been a couple of neat interchanges in the passes around the box, but nothing quite come of it yet for Chelsea.
Yeah, it's good by Romero. If he cuts out all the nonsense with feigning injury, we'd all love him.
Sensational player.
You'd think, what a player, but he just blots his copybook with his histrionics. Here's Zakaria. Still hope for Chelsea. They're only trailing by a goal to nil, but since Oliver Skipp scored, they haven't really tested Forster properly, have they?
No, they really haven't.
And it's, if they draw another blank, it's just going to make things worse. That's a dreadful ball by Felix, who was trying to find Mount, who stumbled a bit. I'm not sure he'd have had it anyway, would he?
He felt that Longley blocked him off there as he tried to run in behind Mason Mount.
Chelsea having a little spell of possession here. Havertz just looking for support, but again, he looks up and there's nothing but white shirts in front of him. That's credit to Tottenham, but it is difficult to break down a well-organised setup like that. But here's Havertz finding Reece James. James low into Sterling. Sterling
offside.
to Havertz.
I think he's offside there.
I'm not sure he is. They're giving the corner.
I think he's offside. He looks at least a yard. They need to check these things. Well, because if they score from the corner, it's going to count as a goal.
Yeah, but it's a different phase, so they can't.
He's on. Romero's playing him on just.
Yeah, he is, to be fair. Credit to the
Romero that puts his hand up to appeal. He's the one playing him on side.
Yeah, he is. So it's a corner to Chelsea with 12 and a half minutes left, but there'll be a chunk of stoppage time as well. It's going to be Ben Chilwell with his left foot to swing it in from that far side. How Chelsea need a goal. They're not going to get one. It's a towering header by Eric Dyer, and then back in from James, and then a sort of stab foot forward pass by Fernandes, which lands at the obliging gloves of Fraser Forster. Forster will have enjoyed his day. He's made a couple of routine saves and not much else, and he's been
He's been well protected.
He has been
well protected.
Indeed, he has. Now then, here comes Son Heung-min. It's going to be Kulusevski, though, not Richarlison, that he replaces. But it goes without saying he is a hugely popular figure. You talk about players that Romero that you don't like. I don't support Tottenham Hotspur.
No.
I love Son.
He's a absolutely.
And he's got his Korean, South
There's
Korean
always
fan club.
a South Korean fan club there, without doubt.
He is fantastic. I love just everything about him. He's just the way he plays with a smile.
He's so positive.
He does great interviews.
Yeah,
he's a role model. And he's a fantastic player. And he's absolutely.
And his record off the bench this season is absolutely out of this world.
He's also too short of 100 Tottenham Hotspur goals, and he would become the first Asian player ever to score 100 goals for a club.
It will happen.
Of course it will. It might happen later on today. But he's on 98 at the moment. Here's Felix. Now it's Mason Mount back to Enzo Fernandez, midway inside the Tottenham half. Diagonal ball, bit better this from Chelsea, but great tackle
for many years now.
Romero, I mean,
and his best season.
He's
fully committed.
Defender,
he's so committed to every challenge.
There's a late one.
It's Romero again.
Hang on, there's a late challenge here, and there's a flare up again.
It's Romero again.
Yeah, the referee's calling them around him. Romero is being spoken to. Dyer is pleading Romero's innocence. Romero's putting his thumbs up as if to say, "I'm sorry, mate." We're going to have another look at it here. Well,
there's nothing in it.
To be fair, he got to ball cleanly. They grabbed onto each other.
There's nothing in it.
Stuart Atwell correctly don't need yellow cards for that. It was just silly. They grabbed each other, and that's the end of it. So play on. 80 minutes have elapsed, and Chelsea are trailing by a 1-0, scored by Oliver Skipp after 20 seconds of the second half. And Chelsea look as if they're going to go another game without a goal. They're going to lose to Tottenham Hotspur for the first time for 5 years. And they're going to end a 3-match winning run in this stadium. Here's Davis for Tottenham, finding Højbjerg. A second Tottenham goal would finish it, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chelsea are going to do well to get one.
Well, here's Richarlison finding Emerson Royale. Down the line towards Richarlison. Richarlison shadowed by Koulibaly. Oh, that's clever. He's flicked it off his shins deliberately there for a corner, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Richarlison knew exactly. Aubameyang looks like he's going to get ready to come on. Well, this would really silence that stadium, wouldn't it?
That would be a story.
He is the one player that would completely silence this stadium. Mudryk as well.
Yeah, Mudryk's also getting ready, but not yet, because Son Heung-min, who's just come on himself, is going to take the corner.
They've just got to hope Spurs don't score from this corner.
If they do, Aubameyang could be academic, couldn't he? It's an outswinger from Son. Oh, flick header, chance goal, Harry Kane. Kane at the back stick. Scores against Chelsea again. Did it in August. That's his 8th goal against them. And to all intents and purposes, that will wrap up victory for Tottenham Hotspur. Harry Kane jabbing in. Son's corner flicked on. Tottenham 2-0. You suspect game over.
Well, Harry Kane has just become the first Spurs player to score home and away against Chelsea since Gary Lineker, believe it or not, in 1991.
That is tremendous knowledge. He's onside, no question.
Flicked on by Dyer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Chilwell's deeper than him. Loses his man at the back post. Harry Kane, simple task for him. 4 yards out, just on his right foot, just guides it towards the target. Simple for him. What a player.
268th Tottenham Hotspur goal for Harry Kane. And a 49th goal in Premier League London derbies. One shot 50 in derbies.
He is.
The figures are incredible, aren't they?
He is an incredible player. Absolutely brilliant player. Mudryk's come on.
It's his 201st Premier League goal. That's a record for a single club. Aubameyang is now coming on, and you look at Aubameyang's face, and Aubameyang, you can tell he's thinking, you should have brought me on 10 minutes earlier, because now we're fighting a losing battle.
Mudryk and Aubameyang on, but the game now is almost completely out of reach.
Unless something astonishing happens, and frankly, it doesn't look like it. That's bounced off Havertz and gone. The Tottenham fans are delighted.
Looks like it could have back-to-back. Sterling, the other one who went off?
I didn't say. I think you're right. Yes, you are right. Yes, it was Sterling. Correct. Felix and Sterling were the two that have gone. But I mean, this is what Chelsea fans are heading home. They're off down the 7th.
You're going to get frustrated having had all the success that they've had over the years and the teams that they've watched. This is a shadow of a Chelsea
It
team.
is. I agree. Here's Zakaria. Chelsea fans, that number just tells you that they're utterly convinced that they can't get back into the game. I mean, there's 7 minutes to go. There'll be another 5 or 6 stoppage. Just 15 minutes, effectively.
Well, they could.
And they don't
could
believe,
get back in the game, but they don't believe it. They've got no reason.
No. Here's Mudryk. You never know. That's not a bad cross.
Ben
It's a
Davies,
great header by Davis.
Brilliant defensive header in the back post. But Havertz should be there where Ben Davies is trying to score the goal, and he's nowhere near it.
It's gone for a throw, which has been taken. Fernandes. That's enough. Every forward ball that Fernandes plays has gone either wide or straight to Fraser.
You know,
Forster.
you can say he's very positive in his thinking, Enzo Fernandez. He's always looking to pass forward, but his quality hasn't been great.
On our Kosisa Chokwu says, aren't you two being critical of Stuart Atwell?
Well, he
What do you
deserves it
mean
today.
he can referee the game without his audio device properly? Well, in days gone by, they didn't have these devices. They just relied on talking to each other and pointing. I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have them. I'm saying that you shouldn't hold up a game for. I mean, I used an example of a game I saw where it was about 10 minutes of messing around. You just fans don't want to stand around waiting for all this nonsense to take place. I'm not being critical of you, Onar, and I know what you're saying. But I think the referee has had largely not a very good game.
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
over-critical of referees. Bazit says Emerson man of the match.
No chance today.
Who do you think?
No.
Here's Zakaria for Chelsea.
I think
Here's Mudryk.
I don't think there's been any players that have been outstanding.
No, it's been a good team performance.
Very good team performance on Spurs.
I'll probably give it to Kane.
Ben Davies, maybe. Ben Davies has been really good.
We're looking at the goal again. Any fault at Chelsea defensively?
Raheem Sterling, though, is marking Harry Kane at the back post.
Well,
that's got to be a worry in your setup.
Absolutely.
And then he loses Harry Kane at the back post once the flick on happens. But you've got to expect that. Yeah. He's not a defender. No, that's down to Graham Potter and his staff.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. 284th goal of his career for all clubs, Harry Kane. And the next time he scores in a London derby, it'll be 50.
Yeah,
and
what a player, what a servant.
Incredible, yeah.
I think he's going to break Alan Shearer's record. I don't think he'll leave the Premier League, even if he does leave Spurs.
Oh, well, that's the only way he won't break it, I think, isn't it, if he plays abroad. Now then, Chilwell for Chelsea, 86th minute.
Fofana stayed down.
Here's Mudryk. Mudryk might add an injection of pace, but he stumbled over. Emerson Royale's knocked it out of play.
He won the ball. He did win the ball,
Yeah, correct. Decision referee.
He sensed the danger, didn't he? I'm going to come over and deal with him. He's a good player. I'm going to come over, deal with it, deals with it.
Yeah.
He's such a good defender. Just cut out the other stuff.
Oh, hang on. So we've got another stoppage
It's
here.
Fofana down, isn't it? Fofana, they run into each other. I think it's a challenge. It's a yellow card for Richarlison, that.
Yeah.
Studs into his shin.
Yeah, it's not very clever from Richarlison, is it? Here's Chelsea. The ball's back in play. It's Havertz out to Reece James. Just trying to tease his way infield. This is Mason Mount finding Koulibaly. Tottenham fans singing their victory songs already. 3 minutes to go of normal time. Here's Mudryk, left-hand side for Chelsea. Great tackle by Richarlison. To be fair to Richarlison, he had a ropey first half, but he's worked hard second half.
He's worked his socks off, and you have to get into Antonio Conte's team.
Yeah. Ball is played across towards Reece James. Reece James tangles with Son, comes away with the ball, finds Fofana, who's moving freely again. That's good. He's survived 2 injury scares. That means he's fit again.
I think he's played quite well.
Yeah, he's done all right. Here's Fernandes. Some of these expensive Chelsea signings must be wondering what they get themselves into.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
then they
look at their bank account.
Cheers them up. Here's Mason Mount for Chelsea. Reece James, a goal for them would make it interesting. The cross is deep. Aubameyang can't get a touch. And Richarlison again does well. And Mudryk has been penalised for a foul on the Brazilian.
Yeah. But it's really good defending in the back post by Emerson Royale here. Gets goal side of Aubameyang. It's a teasing ball from Reece James. Just make sure Aubameyang can't get anything on the header. Pedro Porro coming on for Spurs.
Yeah. Recent acquisition from Sporting on loan, made his debut in a rather depressing game for Spurs. It was a 4-1 defeat at Leicester. He's going to replace Richarlison.
Yeah, I think he's going to play just ahead of Emerson Royale here. Really just with Mudryk out there, just double up on Mudryk.
I think Bassett was right. I mean, maybe not man of the match, but Emerson's played really
He's
well.
got
I think.
well
Played
again.
really
Yeah,
well.
he's in a real good vein.
He's in a good. Yes, he's in a good groove, isn't he?
Yeah.
So Porro for Richarlison, 23-year-old. Actually started at Manchester City. Porro, he never actually appeared for them, but he's on for the last few minutes, and it'll be a happier time than at Leicester when they were 4-1 down.
Well, you'd like to think so, unless it turns round.
Here's Son, and now Kane. Kane's overhit his pass. I'm not sure it's going to be kept in. No, it's not. That was Porro. He showed pace and hunger there to get to the ball. He was quick.
He stopped it going out for a goal kick, didn't it?
Too quick for him, though, the pass by Kane. We're in the last minute of the 90. Darren Kane is sending Chilwell back several yards to take the throw.
I'm as far from a Chelsea fan as you can probably get, but having grown up in Wimbledon with all my schoolmates being a Chelsea fan, but it does sadden me to see how far Chelsea have dropped, and the good players that they've got on this pitch not performing.
November the 6th, since then, 6 league goals by Chelsea, the worst record of any club in England. That includes teams like Rochdale, who are bottom of League 2, Forest Green, who are bottom of League 1, Wigan, who was struggling in the Championship. It's incredible. You know, it's absolutely a shadow of their... I mean, this is a real shadow of what they should be, isn't it? And yet they spent £323 million.
That's the worry.
Here's Mudryk, who was part of that influx. Not a bad ball, but it's headed away by Dyer. It's like you said, I think every Tottenham player's been a 7, hasn't it? It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick one.
It's hard to pick an outstanding player. Yeah, it's been a really good team performance.
I think that's what managers want, isn't it? Everybody does their job well.
The last 2 weeks, Emerson Royale has been the outstanding player on the pitch. Yeah. But today, there's not one player in that white shirt that's been head and shoulders above everyone else.
I totally agree. Here's Mudryk for Chelsea. 6 minutes has been added on, by the way, of which we've almost had one. Here's Chilwell. Tottenham fans are singing. Chelsea fans, some of them are already queuing for the buses down Tottenham High Road, back towards Seven Sisters Tube. Yeah. It's a miserable walk.
It's a long old walk when you lose it. Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Fofana for Chelsea. Manages to find Reece James. James slips it down the line. It's Zakaria. He crosses. It's blocked by Longley. And then hit on the volley by Mount from the edge, by Chilwell, I should say, from the edge of the box, and blocked by Tottenham Hotspur. Now it's Mudryk. This looks all a bit too little too late for Chelsea, doesn't it? Son hooks it away. Up it goes towards Kane. Clever little header by him. It drops for Mason Mount, but he's going away from goal under pressure from Højbjerg. And in it comes. Fernandez tries to shoot. Yes, it was Oliver Skip.
Yep.
Scooped it away for a corner. He's going to... What a day he's had. He's waited a long time for his goal, hasn't he?
Absolutely,
it's a big goal.
Oh, huge goal.
Big goal. He's timed it to perfection. It was a good goal as well. You said the keeper could have done better. It was a good strike.
Really good strike.
Really good clean strike. Mudryk with a corner for Chelsea. I think maybe if you're Oliver Skip, I mean, you're a midfield player, you probably do. I mean, he's not there as a goal scorer, obviously. No. But it probably does start to nag away a bit, doesn't it, when you get to sort of 60 on,
yeah, absolutely.
That's a poor ball forward by Tottenham. Which
the idea was good from Porro, but the ball was really poor.
It was. We've had 92 and a half minutes. Not sure Aubameyang's touched the ball yet since he came on, has he? But again, did they bring him on too late? I mean, I know it was unfortunate that they scored as he was about to come on.
We called it, didn't we? Yeah. And it was too late.
It was. Here's Fofana for Chelsea. And Reece James. They need 2 goals in 3 minutes, which seems unlikely. Even just getting a goal for Chelsea would be something, wouldn't it? When you think they've had this dominance over Tottenham for so long. It's a 10th game without an away win. 1 win in 11. It's almost relegation form, isn't it?
Something has to change.
Here's Mudryk. Great tackle.
Romero. What's he doing there, though?
He's tried to be too clever. The first tackle was good, and then I think he overdid it. Emerson Royale's been nudged into touch. It's a throw to Tottenham Hotspur.
Mason Mount needs to be careful. He has been booked.
Yes, he hasn't. He's been a bit niggly since he
But
came on, man.
you know what? He probably feels this more than anyone. Growing up, coming through the ranks at Chelsea.
Yes, of course. With Declan Rice,
Yeah,
who's his big
absolutely,
mate,
yeah.
isn't there? Big mate
Declan
still.
Rice.
Yeah,
The news is he's probably not going to be ending up at Chelsea in the summer.
probably not. I don't think anyone will. I mean, if they don't get into Europe, they're going to struggle. And, you know, if they don't get into Europe, João Felix is not going to sign full-time, is he, for them? He's on
You wouldn't have
loan.
thought so, no.
No. I mean, the others are all on big contracts, aren't they? But he's actually a loanee. And here's Wesley Fofana. But it's all done now. We've had 94 minutes. Anything Chelsea get now would be a consolation. That's a terrible ball. That's a ball that kind of sums up their afternoon, isn't it? No ideas, no direction, no kind of great determination. Give it away again. This is utterly depressing.
Even Reece James, who I think is one of the best young players in the Premier League.
But for the Chelsea fans who've stayed, that is utterly depressing way to end the game, isn't it? And again, every time we look at a close-up of Graham Potter on the monitor, and every time we look at, he's puffing his cheeks out. He just looks like a man who's probably bitten off more than he can chew. We're looking at the Chelsea end. There's bags of empty seats. I mean, I would say half of them have gone.
Yep.
Good luck to you if you're driving up Tottenham High Road at the moment.
Don't drive down there on match day, whatever you do.
No, it's one of the worst, isn't it, in the country. Here's Davis. Can Tottenham maybe end with a flourish? It's Davis getting it away from James. It's Oliver Skipp, who will no doubt be doing the post-match interviews, I would have thought. They'll want a word from him, won't they? Tell us about the goal. How do you feel?
Great tackle
he's a good
as
player.
well.
He's done well as well. He's come in last couple of games, been excellent.
He's a really steady player.
Yes,
He's got an old head on young shoulders. Always has done.
I mean, he had a loan at Norwich, didn't he, not so long ago? And you thought,
well,
is there a future for him at Tottenham?
They won the league, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Part of that championship winning side.
Absolutely.
Gave him some really good experience.
Here's Fofana. We're in the last seconds of the game. Chelsea, frankly, can't wait for the whistle to blow. Zakaria strongly tackled by Longley. Longley's another one who's been steady Eddie. We haven't mentioned him much, but he hasn't really put a foot wrong, has he? Here's Son. Son is blocked. Tottenham, it's every 50-50. The Tottenham player looks more committed.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it. It's another dispiriting day for Graham Potter and Chelsea. They have lost 2-0. They have failed to score again. And Tottenham Hotspur have consolidated fourth place between the two teams who contest the Carabao Cup final later. Oliver Skipp with his first goal for Tottenham Hotspur, 20 seconds into the second half. And then Harry Kane with his 268th goal for Tottenham sealed it with 8 minutes to go. It has finished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Chelsea 0 on Premier League Live.